NBA 2K just revealed some of their ratings for 2K21 Next Gen. Some of the ratings they gave was understandable, but some of the others were just disrespectful. The players' ratings I kinda agree with was LeBron's, which was a 98 even though it could have been a 99. I agree with Giannis being a 97. Luka being a 94 is understandable, even though I would have gave him a 95. I agree with Rudy Gobert being an 87. Kyrie being a 90 and KD being a 95 is agreeable too, even though I would have gave Kyrie a 92 and KD a 97, and the same goes with Steph and Klay. I think Klay should have been a 90 and Steph should have been a 96. I also agree with the rating they gave James Harden, which was a 96. Damian Lillard's 95 is valid to me, and the ratings they gave Kemba, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum were valid too. Since the Lakers won the chip, they revealed their starters rating too, which for the most part I agreed with. Anthony Davis got a 96, Danny Green and KCP got a 76, and Alex Caruso got a 75. I think Danny Green should have been a little lower though because of the way he played in the playoffs. In the postseason, he only averaged 8 points, shooting 34% from the field and 33% from 3, so I would have gave him like a 72. Now let's talk about the ones I didn't really agree with. They gave Jamal Murray an 87, which is crazy. If they was basing it off of his regular season production, then I can understand this rating, but this rating doesn't reflect the way he played in the playoffs at all. In the postseason, he averaged 26.5 points, 6 assists and nearly 5 boards, shooting 50% from the field, 45% from 3, and 89% from the line. When he did this, he became the only player in NBA history to average 25 plus points and 5 plus assists, while shooting 50% from the field and 45% from 3. This isn't the only record he broke too. He also led his team in being the first team in NBA history to come back from being down 3-1 multiple times in one postseason. And he broke a couple of records against the Jazz in the first round. That series, he had multiple 50-point games, which made him join MJ, Allen Iverson, and Donovan Mitchell as the only players to have more than one 50-point game in the series. And in one of his 50-point games, he shot 70% from the field, which made him the second player in NBA history to have at least 50 while shooting 70%. The only other player to do this was Charles Barkley, who's one of the greatest power forwards of all time. On top of that, he made the second most threes for a playoff series, tying Steph Curry, who's the best shooter and arguably the best point guard of all time. So I don't know how 2K seen him do all this and still decided to give him an 87. That just doesn't make sense to me. After him doing all that, I think he should have at least been a 90. I didn't agree with Jimmy Butler being a 93. I understand he had a great playoff run, but I think that's a little too high. For the postseason, he averaged 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, shooting 48% from the field, 34% from 3, and 85% from the line. These are great stats, but I think this type of production deserves a 90, not a 93. I also don't think Donovan Mitchell deserved to get an 87. That's crazy to me. I know he didn't go far in the playoffs, but he had one of the best playoff series of all time against the Nuggets. He averaged 36 points, 5 boards, and nearly 5 assists, shooting 52% from the field, 51% from 3, and 94% from the line. He became the first player in NBA history to average 35 plus points, while shooting at least 50% from the field, 50% from 3, and 90% from the line. Also, like I said earlier, his multiple 50-point games in the series made him join MJ, AI, and Jamal Murray as the only players to do this. And he also made the most threes for a playoff series, making 33. Because of all this, he should have at least been a 90. If it was up to me though, I would have gave him a 91. Zion being an 86 is also disrespectful too. I know he only played 24 games, but he was phenomenal in those games. This season, he averaged 22.5 points, 6 boards, and 2 assists, shooting 58% from the field, 42% from 3, and 64% from the line in only 27 minutes a game. If he wasn't on minutes restriction, I think he would have easily averaged around 27 points and 10 boards with great efficiency. So I would have gave him at least an 89, even though I know by the end of next season, he's probably going to deserve to be a 95. Devin Booker should have been rated higher than an 88. This season, he averaged nearly 27 points, 6.5 assists, and 4 boards, shooting 49% from the field, 35% from 3, and 91% from the line. Well, for this alone, I think he should have been a 90. Then when you factor in what he did in the bubble, it should have been even higher than that. He led the Suns to an undefeated record while averaging 30.5 points, 6 assists, and 5 boards, shooting 50% from the field and 94% from the line. When you take all of that into account, I think he should have at least been a 93. Lastly, I don't agree with Trey Young being rated at 88. I understand the Hawks were extremely bad, but it wasn't his fault. He played really good this season. He averaged 29 points, 9 assists, and 4 boards, shooting 43% from the field, 36% from 3, and 86% from the line. He was 4th in the NBA in points per game, and he was 2nd in assists. Because of this, I think he should have been a 90. There's no way a player can be top 5 in points and assists and not be a 90. Those were all the ratings they revealed so far at the time of making this video. Let me know what y'all think about these ratings in the comments. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more vids. Peace.